Okay, so third grade, remember we're talking about our consonant LE syllable type, brand new syllable type. What do you need to know for a consonant LE? It comes at the end of a multisyllabic word. Three letters. E is okay. So that is the crux of a consonant LE. We learned that it can be a BLE, a ZLE, an FLE, a TLE, a DLE, many consonant LE. Now, some things about a consonant LE. One, what do you do if you have to add a suffix, right? So when we had our one to one to one, our closed syllable with our one to one to one, we had a rule for adding suffixes, right? If it was a one to one to one, we had to double the suffix if it was a vowel. We had double the final consonant if it was a vowel suffix. Vowel consonant E syllable. If we added a vowel suffix, we had to drop that E. Consonant LE, same thing, kind of like a vowel consonant. If you are adding a vowel suffix to a consonant LE word, you must drop that. So say, for example, you want to say settling. The pioneers were settling out west. We're settled out west. So settle, settle, right? Settle. When you hear that toll, you know that's a T-L-E. That makes the toll, right? So if you want to say that the pioneers were settling out west, and you're going to add that int, that is a vowel suffix, so you must drop that e. They were settling. Now, settle turns into settling. I always tell my kids at school, in my class, write the base word first. If I give you a word to spell like settling, before you even write settling, I want you to think settling. What's the base word? Settle. I'm adding a vowel suffix, so I have to drop the E. If you want to say the pioneers settled out west, settled, settled. That's my base word. They settled out west. I'm going to add that ed. I'm not going to add two e's. I'm going to drop that final e, right? I'm going to drop that. So it's going to be settled. If you're adding a consonant suffix, settles, she settles out west, then of course you keep that e, settled. Very similar rule to your vowel consonant e, right? So if you're adding a vowel suffix, you drop that e. If you're adding a consonant suffix, you keep it. So if you want to say the pioneers made a settlement, meant is a consonant suffix. So in that case, you would keep the e, settlement. Does everyone have that down? The turkey's gobbling, right? Gobbling. The turkey was gobbling. Well, gobble, gobble is my closed syllable with my consonant LE. If I'm saying gobbling, I have to drop that final E. Gobbling. Or gobbled, I'm not going to put two E's. But if I want to say gobbles, I keep that. That should be familiar to you because we've been doing it with the vowel consonant. Okay, everyone has that down. Something else to remember with this consonant LE. There is an exception. Okay, right? So remember when we have the IVE and then the IVE exception, right? So we can have give, live, or live, give, or five. Sometimes it can sound like is, and sometimes it can sound like I. It should sound like I because it's a vowel consonant. E, right? Should be a long I, but it can sound like this. There's also an exception for the consonant LE. And the exception is SEL. Okay? So remember, your consonant LE is only 3 letters, except for this exception. So that exception is used in the word castle. Why is it an exception? Does anyone think they know why that might be an exception? You don't hear the T. In these words, you heard that T. Set, toll, set, lean. You hear the B. Gobble. In this word, you don't hear that T. Castle. Castle. You don't hear that, and you don't hear that. In the word hustle. So if you're practicing sport, or I might say hustle up, hustle, speed it up, hustle, huh, huh, soul. I don't hear that T and I don't hear that E. You just have to know if it's a word like castle, hustle, the T and the E are silent. Now, tricky with this word. Muscle. In this case, kind of similar, but the C is silent. Muscle. So that soul can be STLE or rare case SCLE, like in the word muscle. So we learned a couple of things today. One, when you're adding a vowel suffix to a consonant LE, you drop the final E, just like our vowel consonant E. If you're adding a consonant suffix, you keep that E. We also learned that there's an exception to the vowel, to the consonant LE, and it's STLE, castle, hustle. We learned that you hear soul, but you have to remember to put that T. One more thing. Clean off this board and then I'll come back. So third grade, the last thing for today. Remember, consonant LE only comes at the end of the word of a multisyllabic word. There has to be 3 letters. The E is silent. If you are adding a vowel suffix to a consonant LE, you drop the final E. If you're adding a consonant suffix, you keep it. Sizzle, sizzling, we drop the E. Sizzles, we keep the E. Then we learned there's an exception, a soul, S-T-L-E. And the reason it's an exception is because you don't hear that T, like in the word whistle and castle. So you've learned all these things, and now I'm just going to blow your mind, because guess what? Sometimes it sounds like O, but it's not a consonant L-E. Sometimes a word can end with an A-L, like in the word signal. And sometimes the word can end with an EL, like in the word bagel or travel. I don't say travel. Sounds like that, right? I say travel, but it's spelled with an EL. Or camel is spelled with an EL. final, sizzle, final, camel, A-L-E-L, consonant L-E. So what does this mean for you? Well, it means that you can't memorize these. So if we were to test you on these are something that are called spelling. When you hear the old sound, most times it will be a consonant, but it could also end with an L, or it could also end with an E. So you're not responsible for memorizing if it's a consonant LE or an AL or an EL, because that's just crazy. The older you get and the more you see words, you'll know it in your head. Because looking at this, if I were to spell travel, that does not look right to me, right? If I were to spell final, that doesn't look right to me. So the older you get, the more you're around writing and reading, you will know these words. But for the meantime, you'll not be tested on them unless we tell you that every word on the test will be a consonant LE. If we do that, then of course, yes. Consonant LE. Got it in your head? At the end of a multisyllabic word, 3 letters, E is silent. The rule for adding, if you're adding a vowel suffix, you drop that E. If you add a consonant suffix, you keep it. With the exception, STLE, like in Whistle and Castle. And yet, on top of it, sometimes the old can sound like an AL or. Way to go, third grade.